In the food service and hospitality industry, we typically encounter three categories of waste: organics and compostables, recycling, and garbage. In this brief training video, we'll show you how to properly segregate each category to maximize your diversion from landfill. First up is recycling. One very important thing to keep in mind about recyclable materials like metal, paper, glass, and plastics is they can only be recycled if they're separated. For this reason, the golden rule in recycling is to first separate each material before placing it in the recycling. It's also worth noting that lining your recycling cart with a bag is optional. At Rethink Resource, we actually prefer that you don't use one, but whatever you choose to do, your recyclables will be collected and processed all the same. Now, let's take a look at some best practices to follow when properly segregating recyclables. Tin cans. As long as you empty all of the organic material out of the tin cans, they don't have to be rinsed clean. Once emptied, put the metal lid inside the can and into the recycling. Deli containers of different sizes are definitely recyclable. They don't need to be rinsed, but they do need to be emptied completely. If there's tape on the deli container, this will need to be removed and placed in the garbage. For PET clamshells, make sure everything inside is emptied out before placing them in the recycling. Occasionally, you may also find a foam sponge or another absorbent material inside to manage the liquids. These are not recyclable and must be separated from the clamshell and put into the garbage. A lot of food is pre-packaged in plastic bags. Sometimes there are other materials inside, like paper, foam, or something else. Both the paper and the plastic can be recycled, but you have to take out the plastic, or whatever the other material is, before putting both into the recycling. When you have condiments or other ingredients packaged in glass jars, some small amount of contamination is to be expected. In this case, the best thing to do is empty out the jars completely, keep the lid separate, and put both the jar and the lid into the recycling. The same goes for plastic jars. Use a spatula to scrape out everything inside the jar, separate the lid, and place both pieces into the recycling. Cartons and Tetra Paks can go into the recycling once they're emptied. Many food storage boxes and other items come wrapped in flexible plastic. All of this soft plastic can go into the recycling as long as it's separated from other materials. If you have excess empty oil jibs, break the box apart, fold the cardboard up, and place it with your other flattened cardboard. Then, collapse the plastic oil jib and replace the lid so it takes up less space in your recycling cart. It's important to break cardboard down flat so that it takes up less space and is more manageable to move around. Smaller boxes can be gathered and placed inside a larger cardboard box. If the cardboard has plastic covering on it, take it off. Once the cardboard and plastic have been separated, they can both be placed in the recycling cart. Next up is organic and compostable waste. For the most part, organic and compostable waste segregation is pretty straightforward, but there are a few important guidelines to follow to prevent contamination and avoid potential safety concerns. Food scraps of any kind, including from kitchen prep and plate scrapings, go into the compost pails, which can then be emptied into your Rethink Resource compost carts. Use the Rethink Resource oil box to help collect your used cooking oil. Once your oil jibs are refilled with used cooking oil, replace the lid ensuring it's tightly closed, and place it with your carts for collection. Our team will collect used cooking oil every time we pick up your other carts. Ash from either a wood-burning fire or a wood-burning grill should be cooled overnight, and then put into a closed metal container for at least 24 hours before being transferred into the compost cart. This process ensures no embers are left burning and alleviates any potential safety concerns. If compostable straws or some form of wood or bamboo straws are being used, they can go into the compost. All paper napkins belong in the compost as well. Finally, let's take a look at the materials that, unfortunately, cannot be recycled or composted and which must be sent to landfill. Generally, anything made of two or more types of materials that cannot be separated goes into the landfill-bound waste stream. When disposing of this waste stream, Rethink Resource always recommends using a clear garbage bag so your team can see what's inside when they're being hauled out. Now, let's review some of the most common categories of landfill-bound waste and how to dispose of them correctly. Elastic bands. Elastic bands are used to package a lot of produce. The organic material goes into the compost, but the elastic bands themselves go into the garbage. The plastic netting used to package some kinds of produce is also not recyclable and should be placed in the garbage. Personal protective equipment like face masks and latex gloves are not recyclable in Rethink Resources recycling program and must go into the garbage. Plastic straws and drink stirrers are not recyclable and should always be placed in the garbage. By now, you should know everything you need to know to properly segregate all types of waste. And if you follow the guidelines outlined in this video, you'll be well on your way to diverting as much waste as possible from landfill. To learn more about waste diversion or to contact our team, please scan the QR code below. Thanks for watching.